Evening and welcome to 3KG's Coach's Kage Show. Every Wednesday night here, live from Arnie's Pizzeria in Rensselaer. And it's already moving on to week 3. Can't believe it, Bob Kurtz.
Football season is short, isn't it?
It is. I'm Bill Kage, joined by Bob Kurtz, our expert engineer, taking us through the night is Scotty Miller.
We couldn't do it without him.
No, we wouldn't be on the air. So, thank
Just
you,
be
Scotty.
staring at each other.
You guys do know Scotty Miller was my wrestling manager years and years ago.
I do that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and when we were short on wrestlers, we would take Scotty off the side of the mat and stick him out there and make him wrestle.
What was his weight class?
Scotty probably was about 100 pounds then.
Wow. Wow.
Not even that.
Oh, man, Scotty.
I wrestled freshman year at Bishop Knoll. I
Yeah,
was in the 90s.
not anymore.
No.
That goes for all of us.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, joining us now, kicking us off here tonight, Coach Chris Meeks of the Rensselaer Bombers. Got the victory. It was expected, but had to feel good before the Rains game last Friday night against North Newton. A shutout, 36-0. You guys had some good things, I thought. The passing game's still not quite there, but what was your, overall thoughts on that?
First of all, we made last week about us, but that's kind of hard to do when Monday and Tuesday you're confined to inside because of the heat. So, a lot of talking on film, showing some things that we didn't do well against KV. Our biggest thing was we were out of position several times. Pad levels were high. For us to be successful, we have to have low pad levels. We have to be low. And those are things that we had planned on working, and then we're changing our defense. And so those are things we talked about Monday, Tuesday, classroom talk, film study, so on. And then we went out Wednesday and Thursday. Normally Wednesday we're off the field by 5:30. We went till 6:30, and then Thursday usually short practice as well. But we made that a 3-hour practice because we had things we had to fix. So I thought our kids did a nice job adjusting and adapting to what we brought to the table. Defensively, there were several guys that were moved out of position. We needed to make some changes after our performance at Kankakee Valley, and we did. And the kids did a nice job. Anytime you make changes, it's important that the kids accept them, and they're the ones that have to make it work, and they really did. We got off to a slow start against North Newton, but hats off to them. They came out inspired. They came out fired up, ready to play, and they brought the intensity. And I thought they were the more aggressive team in the first half. I thought, like I said, I thought they were very intense. And, we finally got things going about halfway through the second quarter, put a couple touchdowns. We got up early 8-0. Then we scored a couple touchdowns right before halftime. But then I thought when we came out in the second half, I thought that was the first year that we really saw Bomber football.
Did you make it halftime adjustments? Because, man, you look like your offense was a little changed up. It seemed like.
With only 5 minutes to playing time in that third quarter.
And you smoked them.
I wouldn't say we made any adjustments at all. But these are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. So, we again tried to get them all on the same page. I thought communication with our offensive line struggled at times. We would go to run an outside play, and then we'd give up an open lane, and you'd see one of their linebackers just fly in there and tackle us for a 2-yard loss or whatever. So there were positives, but it wasn't consistent positivity in that first half. So we just, we revisited a lot of things that we wanted to do offensively and defensively, made sure we're on the same page. If they had questions, answer those questions. But no, there were no adjustments. Kids came out. I think the difference was that we played intense the second half. And that's Bomber football. We stayed low. I thought we were firing off. First half we didn't fire off real well. Second half we fired off. And, I think if you watch the first half compared to the 5 minutes of the second half that we played, I think you'd see two different ball clubs.
Who played well for you then?
We had several kids play well. I thought, Carter Ogborn, he's a young man that played here and there some offense last year for Diego. If we got Diego out of the game or we just wanted to change a pace and give Diego a break, Carter stepped in there last year, did a nice job, had almost 300 yards rushing for us last year. So he was a young man we wanted to find a place for on offense, so we put him at wing. First game of the year, things just weren't clicking for anybody in that game. But Friday night, things were clicking. He got loose on a couple nice runs. Not just running the ball, but he's got to block the edge effectively for us well, too. He did a nice job. So, it was nice to see him have a good game. I think he had around 130 yards rushing. And then Diego Hernandez-Reyes, I think you would be foolish to think that teams would not key on him running the ball over 300 times last year. So, we've got 11 sets of eyes on him every time we snap the ball. So yards aren't as easy to come by for him, but they're still important yards. So he had 70 yards for us at the running back position. Also played very well defensively. Caden Doyle, he's a young man that, a senior that we count on in many different ways. And we had him at outside linebacker against Kankakee Valley. Well, last year we moved him up to defensive end, and we found that last year playing defensive end, he was a lot more effective than standing up playing linebacker. But we wanted to try it again at linebacker, and it just didn't work, Again, our point of emphasis going into week 2 was putting our kids in the best position to make plays. Week 1, and that's on me. We didn't have him in the right spot. So put him at defensive end, and lo and behold, man, he controlled that line of scrimmage. He had several tackles. He had tackles for loss. He had 1 sack. He had a blocked punt. Just a tremendous game. And again, that's only in 5 minutes into the second half. So 29 total minutes. So he had a nice stat line defensively. But I thought our offensive line, when we did pass, we didn't connect on a whole lot of them, but we had open receivers. Just the timing, we had some timing issues. Finally, we did hit a pass. Landon Mush caught a nice 26-yard pass right before halftime from Beck Drone. But I thought our offensive line did a nice job of protecting and giving,
Touchdown
Beck.
pass.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of positives. Our punting game has been tremendous too.
Yeah.
First 2 games, John Yalloway. And when you get into some tighter ball games, field position's huge. And I thought he did a nice job of punting. So, several great individual performances, but even more importantly, our team played well.
Our 3KG player of the game was tough. It was we chose Diego Hernandez-Reyes. It's hard to go away from him. But I'll tell you what, Carter Ogborn made it a hard decision. Yeah, with those 2 long touchdown runs in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah. And I would like to think there'd be, even 3 or 4 potential candidates for that coveted award. But no, Diego has been consistent for us.
He doesn't take a play off, does he? I mean,
And I'm glad you said that. He's a big-time punt returner for us. He returns kickoffs. He's on all of our very
one
deserving.
reason I voted for him was I saw him make a great tackle on punt coverage.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's just.
And that's his job. He's one of our gunners, so he'll be one of the first 2 guys downfield, and that's his job to make that play.
All right. This week, what was the focus?
All right. So, focus.
Can't blame the weather now. It
No.
was beautiful weather.
Focus probably came into view when we put the Woodstock film in and saw their 330-pound number 76 and their 300-plus pound number 70, and how athletic those 2 guys were, and that got us focused real quick on devising schemes and how we wanted to attack that. Those 2 guys play offensively, defensively. They've got some nice size across the board. So our focus is on adjusting and adapting on how to defeat a good team.
Now, where are they located, and how big a school are they?
Okay, so they're located in McHenry County. They're about
In Illinois.
in Illinois, about a stone's throw away from Wisconsin.
Ooh.
So it's going to be a full 3-hour trip from Rensselaer up there. We'll be loading charter bus at 1:15 on Friday, and we'll take off and hopefully get up there by traffic depending Chicago. 4:30, 4:45. Get the lactic acid out of our legs from sitting there. Stretch, get out on the field, do some things, and then just kind of get used to their environment. But it's a big school, so probably comparable to like a Kankakee Valley or Logansport. They have 2 state championships over the years. Many similarities between us and them. They've played on their field since 1900. We've got the rich tradition and history of Rensselaer football. They do too. We have the same school song. When you watch their films from past years, they play rock and roll music from the 70s and 80s. Okay, they're a grind it type of team, which makes play
Right up your alley.
Right up our alley. But yeah, so I our dealings with them, with their AD and coach, have been tremendous. They're excited to host us. They're going to feed us after the game.
Is this a one-year deal or?
It's a 1-year deal.
Okay.
And the reason it happened is when Northwestern dropped out, they're supposed to give a 2-year notice, and they didn't. So that kind of screws the teams that are on their schedule. So we're all scrambling trying to find games. And to Kenny Hickman's credit, he lets me look in the 5-county area. And when Delphi did that a few years ago, we found Champaign Central, which was 2 hours away, not too bad. But we feel fortunate, lucky that we found something within 3 hours.
What do your history with long trips like that? Is it good, bad? The kids get antsy? What do you do on a bus? These are young kids. How do you keep them, focused?
Well, in the Hoosier Conference, to be honest with you, we're kind of used to it from the standpoint of going to Hamilton Heights, going to Tipton. Those 2 places, there's really no easy way of getting there. So it takes about 2 hours to get to those places.
They look at their phones like I do.
Yeah, everybody does, don't they? But, yeah, so this one might be a little bit more of a beast, 3-hour trip. But our plan is to, get on the Tri-State Tollway, get through the Chicago area. Once we get on 90, find an oasis to pull over, stretch the legs, let the kids use the restroom, and hang out there for 15, 20 minutes, and then make our stretch run in there. And then bottom line is it's a 48-minute game. We're playing a very sound opponent that plays an extremely tough conference and schedule, and we'd like to think they feel the same way about us. And it should be an awesome game, awesome environment.
What are the keys?
We have to control their big line. I mean, they're big up front, very big up front. They're senior dominated. On defense, they start 9 seniors, and they're very athletic. But there's some things that we feel like we can exploit and do well. But it starts with up front. It starts with our pad levels. We've got to, no turnovers. We got to play the game of field position. So if we do have to punt or kick off, let's bury them deep, make them go the length of the field. And, if we do those things, which I like to call Bomber football, we feel like we'll be in the mix and hopefully bring back a win to not only Rensselaer but Indiana.
Sure.
What about you got another question you wanted to ask him?
Well,
before
I just
wrap things up.
I just want to touch real quick on a couple stats from the 2 games so far. I know it's not much, but just get your reactions. We talked about, you mentioned the punting game, and Galloway averaging 38.6. That's darn good for high school, isn't it?
This is a sophomore that is getting his first real taste of varsity experience, and we're
so
playing
consistent in his punts.
Yeah, we were planning on him being our kicker, PAT kicker, and kicking off, but and then we thought the punt would just fall into his lap. As it turns out, his punting's pretty good, and his hang time. It's a weapon from the standpoint he gets deep punts, but he gets hang time where our guys can get downfield and keep the other team from having returns. So that's something I told him, you really need to work on this thing because you work on it hard. I mean, you got that special knack. You could be a Saturday player, somebody that we go and watch on college football games.
Your leading tacklers on defense, Landon Mush with 5 solos, 9 total. Hernandez Reyes, 5 solos, 12 total, and like you mentioned, Caden Doyle with 11 total. He's got 7 solos with 4 assists.
Yeah, look for Doyle to be more active at the defensive line, like I said before, from the end position. Mush is somebody, he's a very good athlete, but we've had him at safety, and we feel like he needs to be more involved. And he's somebody that I think can be more of an impact player. All of our coaches feel this way. So we took him and moved him up to outside linebacker. That's one of our changes we made in week 2. We took Diego, moved him back to safety. And Diego has a good enough feel of the game with his experience that, if a team chooses to run, Diego can sense it and come up and attack the run at the line of scrimmage. Ultimately, the safety's bottom line is to defend the pass and don't get beat deep. Don't let anybody get past you. So he's got a lot of experience. So, he can adjust and adapt to us moving him back to that position quickly. But what I'm even more impressed with, Landon, us taking him to outside linebacker, he's just natural at it. I mean, he comes downhill, he attacks the line of scrimmage. If you remember the North Newton game, 2 times he had opportunities to pick off passes. He didn't there. I think in the future you'll see him pick off a lot of passes from that outside backer position.
Last thing here, give a recap of the JV Bombers, the lower level Bombers, middle school, and all that.
All right, well, let's start off with middle school. Middle school traveled to Southwestern down in Lafayette. 7th grade, who was 1-0 at the time, they beat East Tip the week before. They lost a heartbreaker 22-20. They missed a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. But, again, tremendous competition, great game, and they were in it, with a chance to win at the end. And then our 8th grade, they were 0-1, lost a tough game to East Tip the week before. They had a very impressive, I think it was 20-0 win over Southwestern. So, they're all, I think both teams are off to a good start and performing well. Our JV last night played at North Newton, and I think we dressed 13, 14 kids and played well, and they won 40. We won 42-6, I believe. And again, Rashad Claybon, young man that's outstanding in track, learning the sport of football. He really had a great night for us. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns with a kickoff return. And then last night we had an inter-squad scrimmage, first time under the lights for our Rensselaer Rampage. So the third and 4th graders, we split them up.
That was so impressive last
The
weekend
numbers.
at the halftime, having all those kids out.
Well, they're learning the sport, and they put on a show last night. So the 2 teams, the silver played the black, they played each other, and then we did the same thing with 5th and 6th grade. So let them get acclimated to playing real game situations. And again, they're just learning tackle football. So learning process, but also it was a learning process for our, we got parents doing chain gangs, we got parents up in the booth, all those type of things. So hosting a game. We'll be hosting several of those games, and both of them start off next Monday and Tuesday at Rensselaer with games. So a lot going on in Bomber football.
Chris, thanks for coming out, and good luck on the big road trip Friday.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
Chris Meeks from the Rensselaer Central Bombers, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
At Applegate Seed House, we specialize in any and all small seed project needs. This includes government programs, CRP, pollinators and waterways, pasture mixes, and new lawn seed. Applegate Seed House is located 2 miles north of Brook, Indiana, and 2.5 miles east of Highway 41. Call Sam at 765-363-3113. That's Sam at Applegate Seed House, 765-363-3113.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Welcome back to Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer. Great place to come and eat and drink and attend the coaches show here. We have here every Wednesday, 6 o'clock Central Time start. 6 coaches coming by, and now we're going to talk a little West Central football with Mark Hall. Win last week to get you even up on the board 1-1. Tell us who he played, the score, and tell us about the game.
Yeah, we went to Culver Community and played our second game in a row to start the year on the road. We ended up winning 28-16. It was a game that, the start of it, you couldn't really ask for anything better, really. We kick off, they don't field it. It bounces off their shin, and we're down there to get it. So we get the great field position to start the game. And like 3 plays later, we score, but it gets called back for a penalty, and that was going to be the theme of the night, especially the first 3 quarters, was penalties. So we ended up not scoring that first possession. They get the ball back 3 plays later, 2 plays later, something like that. They fumble again, so we get the ball again inside the 35-yard line, and we do nothing with it. Then they get the ball back. We stop them, force them to actually go negative on that next series, and they punt the ball away, and it is a bad punt, and we get the ball inside their 40. So we've had 3 possessions inside their 40-yard line.
With nothing to score
nothing
yet.
to show for it so
Wow.
far. That drive takes us into the second quarter, where we do score. Jaden Miller ran one in for us on a counter play. And so we're up 6-0 at that point. And then right down the field, Culver goes. I don't know, it was maybe 5 plays or less. We allow them to get in the end zone, and they take the lead 8-6 because they made their conversion. And that's where we stayed the rest of the first half. We had some plays here and there, but we couldn't put any drives together because we kept getting penalties. Penalties were hurting us. As either that or we some plays we weren't all on the same page. We didn't all hear the right number, so we messed up some things there, and we were in a little bit of a disarray in that first half there, so it wasn't real great. So we go in at halftime, and we tell the kids, like, we're a lot better than this, and we need to start playing like it. And it was we got to fix up our mental mistakes. And those are the things we talked about during the week is for week 1, it was mental mistakes. It was penalties. It was false starts. It was procedural things that are all things that we can take care of ourselves. That's on us. So we got on a little bit at halftime, challenged them to come out and play like we're capable of. And in the second half, we got the ball first, and you wouldn't have been able to tell we said anything to them at halftime because we did the exact same things on that first drive. And we punted the ball away. And then defensively, we played well. Other than really 2 drives of the game, we played really well defensively. And the defense, again, played really well on that first drive for Culver. We get the ball back. First play, I think we got called for another penalty. So it was like, guys, we got to fix some things up here. So we're on our own 18-yard line at this point. We call a play-action pass, and Addison Huber was able to find Felipe Bazan, and we scored an 82-yard touchdown pass, and we took the lead at that point 12-8. We again missed our 2-point conversion there. So we're up 12-8 at that point. Culver, they have the ball, and we made that 2-point conversion, sorry. So we're up 14-8 at that point. Culver gets the ball, and it's 3 plays later. It's the same thing that after the first time we scored. They went right down the field and scored. They did it again, and they were able to score, and they took a 16-14 lead late in that third quarter, and that's what it was going into the fourth. Then, again, defensively, we were playing really well. Offense, we were doing enough in spurts to get things done. So the defense was holding us in the game. Offensively, we were able to put together a drive. We got a good field position because they went for it. I don't know why they did it, but I'm not going to question it too much. But it was a 4th and 20-something from their 15-yard line.
Why would you go for it?
For some reason, they went for it.
Tell me they didn't make it.
Not even a pass. They tried to
the
run
running
for
play.
So from the punter, so he's another 10 yards deep. So he ran 20 yards to get 5. So we take them over the ball at the 20-yard line, which is great for us. I mean, we're only down by 2 at this point. So we were able to punch that one in, and we take the lead 22-16 at that point. And then, again, defensively playing really well. Felipe Pazan, 2-3 plays later, steps in front of a pass, intercepts it. And we get the ball at the 32-yard line, I believe. And then the next play, I'm at this point, there's 5 minutes. I'm all right, let's run the clock. Let's get out of here. We call a dive play to Dre Villarreal, and he takes it 32 yards for a touchdown. So
the long drive.
Yeah, there's a real long drive. Not as long as I was hoping for, but we'll take it. At that point, we're up 2 scores, so 5 minutes. We feel pretty good at that point. Again, defense played really well. Forced Culver to have to punt it. They got to midfield on that one. I think they got about 20 yards on that drive, and then they started going backwards. Our defense was doing really well, and forced them to go backwards on some sacks, and so they punted it away with about 3 minutes to go. So at that point, we just were able to run the clock out, and we come away with a 28-16 win. And it was a really good win for us, our kids. One of the things that we talked about was at halftime is we got to keep fighting. Again, we're better than what we're showing right now. We got to keep fighting and coming together. One of the things we did well in week 1 is we fought to the end. And week 2 here, I thought we did a really nice job of that as well. And we fought to the end, and we were able to overcome a lot of our mistakes and put together a win here. So for our kids, I think it shows that as long as we keep fighting and keep sticking together, that we can have some good things happen for us.
Let's talk about the defensive stars first.
Defensively, we had 3 guys that just played outstanding as far as tackles are concerned. Leading us on the night was Connor Huber with 13 total tackles on the night. And then Dre Villarreal and Johnny Rao each chipped in 9 tackles on the night.
Bill's fact-checking you here.
Is he?
Yeah.
So they did a really nice job coming together. And those 3, they played really well for us on the night. Then Felipe was on with the interception. Johnny also had a fumble recovery on the night on that opening kickoff. Blake Endress, one of our defensive tackles, he also got a fumble recovery on the night. So we had a lot of guys just doing really good things. Jaden Miller played really good as defensive end for us on the night. He's a kid we moved to defensive end this year, had played outside linebacker basically his entire career in high school for us. But we needed some people up front for defensive end position especially. So I think it kind of made more sense to him because I'm kind of figuring it out by this point in the season, and played really well. I think he ended up with like 6 or 7 tackles on the night, and I think like 2 or 3 of those were tackles for loss. So really helped us out, us setting the edge, and then being able to make some plays back there.
Offensively?
Offensively, Addison Huber, our quarterback, his stats weren't huge, but what he did, he ran for 41 yards, but that was enough to make them have to be aware of what he was doing. And that's one of the things we've talked to him about is he doesn't have to be like Connor was last year. He just needs to be somebody they have to know about and be aware that he could have the ball. And he did a nice job on a couple of reads on Friday and got some yards, and that's what we needed out of him. We still need to get our wings more involved, but Dre Villarreal led us again on the night. He had 19 carries for 151 yards. Has
328
on the year,
games,
yeah. So he's had an outstanding season so far, and hopefully we can keep that going. But those two really led the way offensively as far as rushing is concerned. Then Felipe Bazan, we were able to hit on that 82-yard touchdown pass.
Well, our 3KG game of the week here on Friday night is over at West Central as the Trojans take on arch rival Tri-County. What are your thoughts on that game?
Well, it's going to be a tough game. Tri-County, they've the last couple of years have really started to go in the right direction here. Up front, they're huge. They got some giant guys up there, and that's something we just don't have a whole lot of, are big guys. So hopefully we're able to line up and be able to do some things against them. They've got skill guys that are pretty good. They like to run the ball really well. They've got a couple guys that are really good at it. So we got to make sure we know where they're at and formationally what they're doing and be able to identify some things. And it's going to come down to tackling. And if we can eliminate some of our penalties,
that's the first time I ever heard him say that.
We gotta do a good job of that. But if we can eliminate some penalties, that would sure make me feel a lot better.
Just let me talk to the ref, and I'll take care of that.
I'll send them up to you and tell them, let them know that no penalties on West Central, and just throw it on the visiting team. Just throw them on there. But if we can, like, I understand like the penalties are going to happen, but I really want to get rid of our procedural penalties, which is like the false starts, the not lined up.
Pull your hair out, won't it? You don't have much to pull
I know,
out,
that's the problem. We do it too much. We need to slow down on that so I can maybe regrow some hair. But if we can do that, that'd be great. But Tri-County, they're going to present a lot of problems for us up front, especially. They're big. Again, hopefully we can just match up or try to match up against them and play the best we can. And it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a hard-fought game.
Yeah, they scored 64 points in 2 games.
I know. So. That's a lot of points. So we got to be ready and be prepared and be able to try to slow them down, or at least attempt to slow them down, because they've been putting a lot of points up, especially last week.
Are you guys healthy after 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, there's the typical bumps and bruises that you have from playing a football game. But other than that, like they're well. By Friday, they'll be fine, and then they'll take a while to recover, and then they'll be fine by Friday again. And
middle school programs, how are they doing?
Yeah, they played their first game last night. First game got canceled because of the heat last week. So last night was their first one. They played Culver, and they lost 38-32.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was high scoring. We needed to work on tackling. Right? But offensively, they did really well. We got to work on some tackling. But it was nice to see that we've got a lot of kids out for middle school right now. We've got between 6th to 8th grade, we've got 31 there that are playing for middle school, which is really good to see. And that's part of it's due because of our youth program that started last year. In the 5th and 6th grade in our youth program, and some of those 6th graders do play middle school, but not all of them. We've got 38 between those 2 grades.
Wow.
And then we've got another like 25 or so. They're playing in 3rd and 4th grade. So we've got a lot of kids coming up here that are wanting to play football, and having this youth league, I think, is going to be a huge benefit for us by the time here they get to high school, that they're going to have a better understanding of what it is going to be, what's going to be necessary, what's going to be required of them to know what to do and how to do it.
Hey, just keep the rain away. Last time we were at West Central, poured like
yes, it did.
Nothing ever has before.
So I think during the day, like morning on Friday, there's like 40% chance, but it didn't look like any at night so
Good.
far.
Okay. So we want to invite all the Cavalier fans and Trojan fans, if you're not attending the game, to tune us in, or if you're attending the game and you want to watch it afterwards, you can do that.
And we should have a huge crowd out for the night. It's our first home game of the year, first conference game of the year, and it's also our youth football recognition night.
Good. Yeah. We'll see you over there then.
All right, sounds great.
Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this on 3KG, thecage.com.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Your sign is your image, and at Designs by Cindy, we take pride in making you look your best. We pride ourselves in our wide range of custom products and services. Our ability to understand your needs and deliver exactly what you're looking for is what sets us apart. We're your one-stop for all your signage needs. Check out our website at designsbycindy.com or give us a call at Designs by Cindy at 219-819-8786.
Welcome back to Arnie's Pizzeria in Rensselaer. 3KG, the Cage, Coach's Cage Show, every Wednesday night here live from Arnie's. Come join us sometime. We have a blast. All these coaches show up, and it's just wonderful how much they help us out. They're so loyal to our program, and it's a lot of fun. Joining us now, Jake West of the Tri-County Cavaliers. Jake, coming off a big win last week against Attica, and you guys are going to be on the road for the first time this year at West Central, coming up on Friday night.
Couldn't get them all home games, huh?
No, I tried, Jeff. Jeff
Didn't
would also
work,
like that.
Yeah.
But, man, 44 points, that's got to make you feel good, huh?
Yeah, I thought we had the opportunity to score one more time there in the first half. We didn't execute very well down near the red zone. We were trying to kind of push the ball in one last time before halftime, and we just couldn't connect on anything.
Coaches are never satisfied.
No, I'm never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about it. You know, we're up 44-0, and I'm sitting here kind of focusing on some of the things I thought we didn't do the best. And I'm, kind of, I don't want to say disappointed, but it's like I'm focusing on the things we didn't do the best. And I'm like, man, I used to pray for times like this. Like, that's cool. Like, this is a nice place to be. But no, I thought overall we played really well. We played our brand of football. We established the run. I thought both quarterbacks who played did a great job. They did a great job there. Noah Pratt, catching his first touchdown of the year. he made a nice play on the ball, had to work back to it. The quarterback kind of led him out and over, and he worked back and tracked it in and then was able to make a play on it and go score. So that was great to see. I thought the O-line did a great job. They get out in front and they open up lanes for not just Jonathan, but, whether it's Aiden Donovan, Aiden Justice, Bryce McMorrow, no matter who's running the ball, Kevin Martinez, they open up lanes for them and do a great job. And then defensively, I thought we were just flying around and hitting the entire first half. The varsity defense didn't play any of the second half. So all of their stats were from, 2 quarters.
Of course, this game was pushed back to Saturday because of the inclement weather. Hey, your quarterback, Aiden Justice, only a sophomore, but already 10 of 13 for 163 yards. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, we have a saying in our quarterback room, you can't go broke making a profit. So just kind of getting him to understand, hey, take what the defense gives you. If it's a 5-yard gain, it's a 5-yard gain. If it's a 10-yard gain, so take what they give you.
So did you use 2 quarterbacks too?
We do, yes. We use 2 quarterbacks each of the first 2 weeks. And both of them have done a great job. And the cool thing is for me, I feel like either one of them could start and we can win a game. I'm comfortable with either one of them.
Are you gonna eventually?
Yeah.
So
we actually narrowed down a starter, and it's a little bit to do with his performance and a little bit to do with what the other one brings to the table for other positions. But Aiden Justice will be starting, going forward. Aiden Donovan he does so much for us on both sides of the ball from an athletic standpoint. He's 6'4", 215, and he can run and jump, and he plays D-line, he plays fullback, he plays quarterback, he plays receiver, he plays safety. He does so much for us. It's hard to, and this is going to sound weird, restrict him to just playing quarterback, which is kind of crazy. But in our offense, all the other positions are just as important as the quarterback, right?
Your run game, Jonathan Pearson, of course, this is pretty expected. The senior, he had a good year last year, that's for sure. And he's already piled up 154 yards in 33 carries, just a tick under 5 yards a carry.
I would argue he's off to a slow start. Last year at this time, he had over 300. I keep looking at him what are you doing, dog? You don't like long touchdowns anymore? That's crazy. But no, I think part of it is last year he had all those carries because we depended on him. We couldn't find our footing with any other part of the offense, and we kind of relied on him running the ball and keeping us in games. And now this year, everyone else has risen up and brought their level of play up, so now we're able to get production out of everyone else. You look at that, we have Justice has over 50 yards, Martinez has over 50 yards, Pratt and Donovan each have 10 yards, and it's so we're starting to get production from everyone else, and then we're also getting stuff in the passing game. So it's we're able to open up more stuff now, and so I joke he's off to a slow start with 5 touchdowns in 2 games, and 200 yards of offense. But it's we don't rely on him to do his part quite as much anymore.
That's probably a good thing.
It is good. It makes me happy. It's that's why I said it's kind of weird because you're so used to him running the ball 30 times in a game and running for 200 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns or whatever, is because we kept giving him the ball over and over again, and but now everyone else is getting their part in on the offense, and it's great to see.
What's been the focus this week in practice?
Winning.
Heading up to the Tri-County or to the West Central game?
Winning.
Thanks. Good. That sounds like a high school kid answer.
That's the focus, winning. We talked on Monday for Labor Day. We did our scouting report and film. And we talked about this team, West Central, their seniors have won 21 games over their career. There's a lot of kids who go 4 years and don't win 21 games, and they've done that. And you have to prepare for them with that level of respect in mind. I know Coach Hall has done things the right way at West Central. He's built something he can be really proud of, and we have to give them their respect as we get ready for them. They've got some talented players, and we have to come correct if we're going to win this game.
Pearson and Donovan, your leaders on defense with 25 and 21 tackles respectively.
Where's Kevin Martinez at? He usually
Kevin Martinez, he's been a little bit restricted. He only played a half of the one game. He's still doing a pretty good job. He's already got 2 sacks and some tackles for loss, and stuff like that.
He's in the hundreds of tackles.
Yeah, so he's doing fine. He's done a great job in his development as well as the dean. He's gotten better from last year to this year. I think he becomes the focal point of a lot of offenses as they try to figure out who do they need to negate up front. I feel like he draws a lot of attention. But when he does that allows everyone else, just kind of like with Jonathan on offense, it allows everyone else to thrive. People are worried about Kevin. Well, now they're not paying attention to Ephraim and Colby, and they're getting good matchups up front. Or, Aiden Donovan's been playing DN for us. He's getting a good matchup up front. Jonathan now can run free because everyone else is focusing on the line. Aiden Donovan is flying down from safety. Noah Pratt's ranging in the middle of the field. they called him out at the one. I thought Noah had a pick six Saturday, and I think the photographic evidence proved that. I thought he had a pick six.
You didn't go for instant replay?
No, we did not. They called him down at the one, and I was just I thought he made a great play on the ball, just arranging in the middle of the field.
Did you score after that?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we scored.
Well,
we scored the next play,
okay.
so it doesn't really matter. But like for him, it does.
Keys to beat West
Oh
Central.
man, well, whatever I said last time didn't work, so it didn't go well. That first half was over in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Kickoff was at 7. We were in the locker room by 7:30.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, that's crazy. No, it just with them, it's if you let them control the ball the entire game, they'll kill the clock and the game will be over in 20 minutes. Staying ahead of the sticks, keeping them behind the sticks, finishing drives in the red zone with touchdowns, keeping them out of the red zone, keeping them in third and long. It's just common football sense stuff with those guys of trying to keep them out of those scenarios. If you let them hold the ball, they will do it, and they will kill the clock, and then you'll start to feel the pressure of, okay, we have to go score, or now I have to get a stop here.
So you're hoping for a longer game this time?
Oh, I want it to be a shorter game, but I want to have the ball.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Okay. I want this game over in an hour, but I want the ball.
Okay.
We practice the 4-minute offense is a real thing. We practice it all the time. Just working on how do you kill the clock, how do you milk possessions for as long as you possibly can. Because if you have our view on it is playing defense is harder than playing offense. It just takes more out of you. So if we can make you play defense longer than we have to play defense, we think that's an advantage. And so that's kind of our mindset to it and what we want to do.
Younger Cavs, how are they doing?
The junior high, they had their jamboree the other day. I couldn't make it out to it because we had practice and everything. But all reports are, kids are making plays, kids are getting better every day, learning our system and getting ready for their games as they start. JV plays a game here, I think next Monday. We host Rensselaer. It's either next Monday or the Monday after. So they're getting ready to play their first game. We have flag football coming up, which flag football starts not this Saturday, but the following one. So I'm excited to see the signups from that. It's exciting times in Cavalier football.
Can't wait to get over there Friday and broadcast your game.
Hey, third time's a charm.
Okay.
Third time's a charm. Is that the third time you've
That's
done
what
this
I told
game?
Mark, too. So
it's not the charm for him. It better be the charm for us.
Tell you both the same thing.
I'm gonna put a ban list on your.
All right, Jake. Thanks for coming over.
Yep, no problem.
Jake West from the Tri-County Cavaliers. Back and talk a little Kankakee Valley football with Kirk Kennedy right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Midwest Contractor Services of Rensselaer, with over 15 years of experience, offers both insulation and gutter services for new construction and existing homes in Jasper, Newton, Lake, and Porter counties. You could save money and lower energy bills by adding more insulation to your house. New insulation project? Let Midwest Contractor Services offer you a custom insulation package that fits your needs. Leaves in your gutter? Let us give you a price on leaf protection products that really work and are affordable. Call Marty or Mark at Midwest Contractor Services today at 219-866-0755 and get an estimate for your project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back. It's Bill K., Bob Kurtz, and Scotty Miller on the 3KG, the Kage Coaches Show every Wednesday night here, live from Arnie's. Joining us now, Kankakee Valley Coach Kurt Kennedy of the 2-0 Cougars. Coach, we were following your score and game live there on Friday night, and you were down to Wheeler. We were worried about that, and said all of a sudden, no, boy, you finished strong.
Oh, yeah, we got a fast start. Our first possession, Diego Arroyo hit Adrian Hutchman for, I can't remember if it was 58 or 68 yards, but it was a long pass. It wasn't a short pass and long run. It was over the top touchdown. He was probably 5 yards behind everybody. It was a great play. So we get a fast start. I don't know if we relaxed but Wheeler came storming back, and they scored the next 14. So it was 14-7, and then in the second quarter, we scored 14 to their 7. So
high scoring there.
21 all to half, and we felt pretty fortunate because it seemed like they had a lot of big plays, which gets everybody's attention. The shock and awe, the ooh factor, and then we're just driving the ball down the field. Marco had a couple long impressive runs, and allowed us to score, so it was tied 21 all to half, and then I don't know, it just seemed like things changed a little bit in the second half. We shut them out defensively, and so 21 was their final score, and we scored 14 more in the second half. So 35-21 was the final. But when you got a strong running game like we do, when you just consider that and the law of averages and percentages, odds are that the powerful running game is going to outlast the big play passing, because that you're just playing odds there and percentages, and deep passes are usually, at least at our level anyway, they're not very high percentage of completion. So that's more or less what happened, and I think we wore them down a little bit. But our kids came out with pretty much a renewed vigor in the second half, and we just took care of business.
Who are some of the offensive and defensive stars?
Well, I think you start with Marco. He had another 300-yard game. He was
that's just average for him.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of getting boring. Marco and his 300 yards, but no, he had. I think it was 320 something, maybe 6, but it was 320 something, 25 carries, and 3 touchdowns. So
you got to be proud of your offensive line too.
Well, the guys up front are working hard and opening holes and creating opportunities. But the thing with Marco this year is once he gets through the initial line and gets into the linebackers or the secondary, he's been making things happen. Running through tackles, running over people, cut back. He's got that natural instinct for the cut back, because that's hard to teach. The cut back, that's kind of instinctive, and he's really developing that, and he's lowering his shoulders and running behind his pads, and more physical of a running style. And I don't know if it was him being on the track team last year or what, but when he gets in the open field, he's not getting caught, and he's a big he's 6'1", 6'2", about 220.
Sure.
Probably not about 210, but he's a big boy to be running like that, and so he's fun to watch. He sure makes us into some smart coaches. Because it's all coaching. He wasn't very good till we got a hold of him. yeah, believe that. But no, it's he's fun to watch. Our quarterback Diego Arroyo had a pretty good game. Last Friday, that first play was over the top, or I think it was third down, and then had another long pass to Adrian that he got caught on that one down about I think it was about the 7-yard line. They caught him. But a couple big plays through the air. I mentioned Adrian Utchman. He had, I think, 114 receiving yards, four receptions, 114 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Diego threw for, I think, 138. He hit the tight end a couple times, hit the back out in the flat. So, all in all, it was a good offensive effort. But like I said, when you got a running game like that, the guys up front are getting the job done, and you got a big, strong running back, so the guys up front are going to work harder for him, and he's going to work hard for them, and it's just, it's a great team type situation.
Does that help? I'm sure that the defense is, looking for Marco to come blasting through and give your quarterback a little bit more time.
Well, that was the second game, so obviously our opponents have at least 2 games on film to look at when they're getting ready for us, and they have to see that stopping Marco is the key to stopping us. So we're going to have to be ready maybe to do some other things, and we have the ability to do some other things. But when our running game's working that well, that's what we're going to feature. So, and not only that, but it allows us to play defense with our offense. Establishing field position, running the clock. We talk about our offensive possessions. We look at field position, we look at time off the clock, and ultimately scoring. We like to accomplish all 3 of those, in every drive. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do that, but very minimal, at least establishing field position and eating up some clock. We don't want to be going 3 and out. We don't want the penalties backing us up and having to punt, without achieving any of our offensive goals. So, like I said, playing defense with our offense is also key to our overall game plan. I think the fancy new term for that is complementary football. So we like to do that.
Coach, don't look now, but here comes that 3-headed monster knocking on the door. Boom, boom, boom. Andre and
Sure.
and Hanover. That's got to be tough.
Well, they're
back to back.
They look good on film. They're 0-2, but don't let that fool you. They've played Maryville and Valparaiso.
Right.
Whoa.
So yeah.
That's some big schools.
And played
Sure
Valpo
is.
pretty tough.
Yeah.
21-28.
Yeah. And the Maryville score wasn't a blowout. I mean, they hung with them too. So.
And those were both on the road. So.
Right. So Andran is a formidable opponent, and we're definitely going to have to, continue having a great week of practice and show up for the game. It's at our place, so that's good. But,
What are going to be the keys to KB playing well Friday?
Well, I just think, it's going to be similar to any week. Just, we've had 1 turnover each of the first 2 games. So we have to obviously limit the turnovers. Again, like I said before, make every possession count. We've been getting a couple of holding calls, in our offensive line, so we got to cut down on that and just make every possession count. And defensively, we got to, limit their big plays. We got to tackle well, win the turnover battle, things like that. You talk to any coach and they'll tell you that they call them chunk plays, big plays. Big plays, missed tackles, winning the turnover battle, being the most physical team on the field, being the most excited team on the field. Things like that is what wins football games. And that's what we're going to have to be.
How about the younger Cougs? How are they doing?
Well, we took one on the chin Saturday. We
JV.
played Wheeler's JV, and we were missing a couple kids, and it just wasn't. It was, what was it, 20 to? I think the final score was 20-14. So we were right there with them. Just had some opportunities late and didn't take advantage. So yeah, we got beat Saturday at the JV level, 20-14. Middle school, I guess, is off to a good start. They've been playing on the road, so I did get to go to a couple of their practices and speak to the kids a little bit. They seem to be a good-looking group, but I haven't got to see them play yet, which that'll change next week when they play at home. Problem with that is when we're practicing and doing our thing, that's when they're practicing and doing their thing. So it's kind of hard to be 2 places at once. And when I spoke to them, I told them, I said, hey, it's not that we're not interested. It's just, we're doing our thing. So, but yeah, the middle school plays at home next week. Pop Warner plays at our place this weekend. So get to check that out a little bit. So yeah, it'll be a good football weekend for the Cougars.
Kirk,
You guys, everybody healthy on the varsity?
we had a little nick up in practice Tuesday, but I think he's going to be all right. But yeah, we're still pretty much healthy, which is a good thing heading into week 3.
Well, keep it going. Make it 3 in a row, and good luck, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, well, thanks for having us on.
All right, Kirk Kennedy from the Kage Valley Cougars, back to wrap things up with John Ewing from North Newton right after this.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
At Applegate Seed House, we specialize in any and all small seed project needs. This includes government programs, CRP, pollinators and waterways, pasture mixes, and new lawn seed. Applegate Seed House is located 2 miles north of Brook, Indiana, and 2.5 miles east of Highway 41. Call Sam at 765-363-3113. That's Sam at Applegate Seed House, 765-363-3113.
Starting a new business? Or perhaps you're thinking it's time for a fresh start in dealing with your company's taxes. For over 50 years, Del Principe and Alley Certified Public Accountants have been helping folks just like you. They keep up to date on all the changing tax codes and help you take full advantage of the deductions and credits the tax laws permits. Let them help you. Call Del Principe and Alley today at 219-866-4665 or 987-6014.
Welcome back one more time. John Ewing of the North Newton Spartans joins us now. And, John, another tough game. It's a tough series with Rensselaer. That second game of the year is just, you guys always run into a powder keg. It's just, but you played well, especially we were talking off the air here a little bit. Pretty impressive start to the ball game. I mean, you guys towed it up there. And I was impressed. I'll tell you what, Bobby was impressed, I think.
Absolutely.
So, just as we were saying, we're really young, and we're trying to get our kids to understand what football is, right? We talk about that a lot and what it takes to be successful. It's hard to – you always hear coaches telling them, like, we don't know what it's like to win, right? And we really don't since I've been at North Newton. But we're teaching our kids that little piece at a time, and we're getting better and better. And whether or not Coach Meek said it, and I didn't hear his interview, but I know there was a point in that first quarter where he was looking across and it looked different to him too, and it felt different to us on the sidelines. Our coaching staff and our players have all talked about it this week that our away stands felt great, our sidelines felt great. What looked out on the grass for a little while felt real good. And then our inexperience started to show, and they started to show how much more experience they had in playing in that atmosphere and playing on that level. And they pulled away from us. I can't lie. The scoreboard doesn't lie to us at all. So the score is a score. We got to do better on offense. We had too many missed assignments. A couple plays where we're a block away, I feel. A couple of those passing plays where it's another half second in pass protection, and I feel like we can deliver a football or little stuff like that. And I thought we had a couple of good wrinkles for him that could have hit for us, and just unfortunately, streak of bad luck continues for us, and bad snaps, missed blocks. We went through the gamut on Friday, and we'll get it cleaned up. We know we will. It's just going to take some time as we continue to be really young and inexperienced.
What can you take away from this game?
So, as I said off the air again, we told our kids, like, that energy they came out with in the first quarter and most of the second quarter, like, that's now the standard for us. They kind of showed it. We've wanted to see that, and we haven't seen it yet. So they set the standard, and we talk about being elite and what elite means, and well, elite means that you're the standard for everybody else. So that's our standard, and now we got to raise it again on Friday, and hopefully we're ready to answer the bell.
Finally get a home game in game number 3.
It's about time. And
hopefully another team looking for their first win. Lake Station comes in. They lost to South Newton in the opener for them, 20-14, close game, and then they lost last week to Illinois Homeschool, 22-0.
Never heard of that.
No, I haven't either. But they're obviously going to be hungry for a win, so I'm sure you guys are going to be glad to be at home, though.
Right. Last year we traveled up there and we played a really close game with them, and they were able to score 2 late. It was tied through most of the third quarter, and they scored twice, and we couldn't answer those scores. So this year we're looking at a team that athletically they've probably got a few athletes in a couple of positions that's pretty scary for us. They've got some size on the outside, kind of like Whiting did. Their quarterback. Number 1, if you let him outside, he's gone, and there's no one on our team that's going to be able to catch him, and so we can't break contain. Offensively, they're another real tight front, just like Rensselaer is. They like to run that split back veer offense. It's not quite Houston split back veer. Those of you that have been paying attention realize that I've got probably way too much of a history on offensive playbooks. So it's not quite that, but it's a lot of down blocks, and they want to read off the edge and get into a belly series with option and all that good stuff. I don't think it's real exotic, but they've got playmakers in positions. They've got 2 or 3 kids that are pretty scary if they get the ball in their hands, and we got to be able to make tackles, which is something I thought we did well early in the game last week. So we got to continue that trend and keep setting the stage for us. Offensively, I think we match up pretty well. Their size versus our size. We got a couple of players that are big, and they got a couple of players that are big, so we're going to try to match those kids up. I think that we spread the field, and that might be something that makes them a little uncomfortable in the film that we've seen. Formationally, we do some different things formationally, and we try to get advantages in the numbers game, and I think that's something that they're probably going to struggle with, because I don't think they've seen a whole lot of that in the film that we have. So we'll see. If we come out and play the way we did against Rensselaer, I think this is going to be the first win. But if our kids decide they want to come out flat and play the way that we did against them last year, that game will be tight again, and it'll be a grind, and we'll see what happens at the end.
Go ahead.
It'd be nice to gain some momentum in this one.
Heck yeah.
You got South Newton coming in the big
Heck yeah.
battle for Newton County right after.
Absolutely. So, we talk about trophy games with us, and this is the first time you guys have both been together this year. I'm proud to have both here this week. So, I've talked about it before. We set really high high goals, in our program, because I really do believe that if we're not talking about winning state championships, it's never going to happen. And I know it's funny to talk about when, I'm now 0-12 in my career here. But as we start to progress and we build this program in the eyes that I think we can be, those bigger goals are going to come, right? So as we start to stack big goals and hit our little stuff, we'll build that pyramid up brick by brick, and hopefully we, got the first brick down on Friday with our energy and our excitement level and our willingness to play the game of football and our willingness to make tackles, and hopefully we get the next brick and start building our foundation.
Give us a report on the younger Spartans.
Yeah, so JV is 1-1. They lost last night, so if I sound really tired, it's because I was up super late last night at a JV game, We played a junior high game against Attica at 5, and then we played a JV game that didn't start until
the
like
old
7:15. Right. Those poor refs. I always feel bad for the refs.
The same refs, huh?
Right. So last night JV lost to Rensselaer. It was a pretty close game through the kind of like ours on the varsity field, pretty close in the first quarter and a half, and then they broke it open. We got a lot of guys that are getting those full amount of quarters, right? We're really pushing quarters in a couple of areas, especially some areas of experience for us, and they're playing well, and they're soaking up that experience for the first time at North Newton since I've been there. We didn't play any JV last year, so it's a different thing for us, and we've had to change up how we practice this year because of that. This week with playing on Wednesday, and then we had picture day today, so our practices this week have felt a little off because of being up late and having small numbers yesterday, and then getting a late start today and all that stuff. So as we continue through the week, we hope to keep progressing. Young guys, junior high, they played really well in their scrimmage last week, and then last night they got a big win against Attica. They were able to pilot on Attica a little bit there at the end, and everybody got to play, which was a big one for me. In our conference, we have enough to run a 7th and an 8th grade team, but our conference, everything's combined. So for us, it's a big deal that we get a lot of I think we got 5 or 6 6th graders that are even playing up into the junior high as well. It could be more than that. So able to get all of those kids that are practicing into those games is really important for me and a big push. Unfortunately, right now we're out of a Pop Warner. We're looking at some options with that. So there's not a whole lot of momentum for us going there, which is probably why we got so many 6th graders playing up into junior high. But the future of the program looks super bright. For me, the biggest thing when I started here was trying to fix enrollment number, or not enrollment numbers, but participation numbers in our football program. I always tell the story of my first practice. We had 9 kids show up to last summer, and I've got 31 on the roster right now. So we feel really good about that. Out of those 31, we've got 18 freshmen. I really think that we may have more freshmen next year than we did this year. We get into the part where you're having to order more jerseys to put your kids in jerseys on Friday nights. It's a great feeling.
I bet.
And we're real close to that. And it feels awesome. I'm really proud of the future of the program and the way that it looks. We talk about, unfortunately, the upperclassmen right now are smaller participation for us. We've only got 6 seniors and 4 juniors on our squad. So as we push, we look back and we watch, some success in the JV level and playing tough there. That's going to move over into Friday nights, and we know it. And then competing really hard in the junior high level will just build up. And a couple of years, look out. North Newton's going to be different. I promise.
John, thanks for coming over. Good luck Friday, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Appreciate you, fellas. Everything you do, go Spartans. Hail to the victors.
Thanks,
all right.
Coach.
John Ewing's been our guest. Scotty, can we just wrap things up now, or let's just wrap things up now, Billy? So
that sounds good. Bob, we said earlier when we started this night to night, boy, these weeks go so fast.
They do, don't
I
they?
can't believe it's week 3 already.
Yeah.
Coming up. Man,
third
man.
of the season's going to be gone after Friday night.
Yeah. Some big games this weekend. It was nice having some victorious coaches come in today. And
a lot better moods for some of the coaches there.
It sure is. And we didn't even have Brad Beavis. So he'll be back next week, I'm sure, with the South Newton Rebels.
All right, Midwest Conference football Friday night. Tri-County and West Central, 5:45 Central Time pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff, 7 o'clock Eastern. So we'll see you over there, okay?
Looking forward to it, Bob.
I'd like to thank all the sponsors for making the show possible, and Scotty Miller, great job navigating all he has to navigate here. We appreciate him very much. For our partners, Scotty Miller and Bill Kay, Bob Kurtz from Arnie's. So long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.